Hi, fantasy book lovers, TGIF. This is Thank Gods It's Fantasy Podcast. We are Kayla, Veronica, and Bryanna, three best friends who love talking about all things books. From the romance, the conflict, and of course, morally gray men. Every 2 weeks, we will be getting together to talk about our theories, opinions, and reviews of our current read. Please read along, join in, and be one of our book besties too. Dearest gentle reader, welcome to our show. Thanks for joining us. In this episode, we will be discussing Bridgerton, Season 3, Episode 1 and 2. Before we start, we would like to announce a disclaimer that many of the things we discuss might be more suitable for mature audiences. We are all adults here, so if explicit language or content is not for you, then turn back while you still can. Obviously, a couple of us decided to get a little in the theme of Bridgerton. We dressed up a smidgen. That's not for all of us, and that is fine. And we also have a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yay! This is my child right here. It's her debut, you guys.
I'm her favorite child.
She's my oldest child. Anyways, this is Ariana. Everyone says that we're twins, but she's my firstborn.
Can you see it?
No.
Yes.
It's fine.
We can see
She's
it.
taken. So the rules don't apply to her according to Bridgerton. So.
I mean, thankfully they don't apply to any of us because God bless.
Yeah, honestly.
So, episode 1, I mean, quite a few different things happen in this episode. One of the big things from the get-go is we kind of get to see Francesca make her initial debut to society. And of course, they have changed out the actress at this point. She was stunning.
Gorgeous.
Could not get over her look, just how she carried herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know, I really liked her, and I wasn't prepared for, I mean, obviously they were going to make her debut at some point. I don't know that I was expecting it now. I know a lot of those storylines technically overlap in the books. Not that I've read them, but I've heard they really overlap a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't expecting that from the get-go because I was obviously expecting more Colin and Penelope. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise for me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of what they do is they like layer it in, because if you think about like Eloise from last season, but really it wasn't her season. So I feel like they're just like prepping everybody for their future season, for their glow up, you know, their intro to the glow up.
I know. I do love the glow up. Speaking of which, Colin gets his glow up from the get-go. I loved his costume design change. I liked his costume design change. I personally do not find Colin to be one of the most attractive of the Bridgerton guys.
I don't either.
Quite frankly, I would have liked, because I like how he looks in interviews now way better than how they made him look in this season. The weird little sideburn. Don't love that. Never loved it. I mean, it gives him more of a chiseled face, so I like kind of got where they were trying to do that, but they should have just let him have some stubble. He looks so much better that way.
Do you think Benedict is better than him?
Benedict is cute. I think he's cute, but also I think his personality in the show, I think, is very cute.
I disagree.
I think Benedict's cuter than Colin, but I think he's like pretty boy attractive. And that's like, he's not necessarily like, not that I don't like a pretty boy, but I don't know. He's too pretty boy, I think. And I think the chops are like, that's just par for the time. Because I didn't love the chops on any of them that they do. And his like feathery foof. Like they feathered his hair out a lot. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I really wish they'd let him do his like normal hair and facial hair, because I think he looks way cuter. Not necessarily, again, my type, but way cuter in interviews now than he does on the show. And then I just think his wardrobe is very pirate. I think that's why I get such a kick out of it, because they went with such like high, like I don't know, his
Collared and
coat that he wears all the time, I'm like, "You are Jack Sparrow right now."
They went French. They did
Yeah.
French for him. Which, okay,
They did.
I loved his wardrobe. Like, I thought it was, like, a little bit elevated from what they have been so far, but what was killing me more than anything, that first scene of him flirting with all the girls, I
When
was
she bit off her glove and dropped it.
dying. Well, and then when they go to that first party and he's just, like, making his rounds,
My
like
gosh.
like, too sugar sweet flirting with all of them, and I was just, "Oh boy. Nope, 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 mm-mm."
Yeah, that was a lot for me to watch. I was like, "Okay, I get." Like, his vibe's supposed to be a lot more flirtatious. I sleep
Mhm.
around a little now. Like, I get that that's what we're doing. It was too intense from the get-go for me. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved every bit
Yeah,
of
I
it.
loved
There,
it.
none of it was
I
cringe for me. I was like, this is the best. I
Yeah.
love it. I I loved it. You guys, why are we
Yeah.
not on the same page with all this stuff?
No,
I loved it.
it
okay.
made me, like, happy, but it was, like, bachelor happy, where I'm like, "I'm enjoying this, but I'm still gonna, like, turtle and hide
Yeah.
because it's also, like,
A little
I don't
cringe.
know.
Mind
Little
I
you,
love The Bachelor, so I loved it.
I
I loved
don't
all
I
of
love The
it.
Bachelor.
I was pretending that I was the girls that he was flirting with. I loved it.
I
How
love that.
him and I were together and we were just swooning.
I love it.
You were
And
pretending
I
to
would
take
not.
your glove off and, like,
Damn it. That's allowed.
pick it up for me.
The But the ironic thing is, because now that I can make mini comparisons since I have started reading the books finally, but I'm only through 2. In the books, Colin is a shameless flirt from the very start. Like, he is
Yeah.
known as being the Bridgerton flirt that is always getting girls, always after
Ah,
girls the entire time more than anyone else. So I was like, "Oh, he's now, like, fully coming into that in the show." So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
I did like that part of it where I was like, "Okay, I see what they're
Yeah.
doing here."
Speaking of
See,
books, this whole series came out back in 2000.
Mhm.
It started in 2000 and then it ended in 2006. Book 3 came out in 2001. This is what got me into read because like I said, I saw it at the Walmart and
Mhm.
I picked up the first book and then I just kept going on and I
uh-huh.
was like, okay.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that I had read it. But yeah, Julia Quinn did such a good job with these books. I really loved them back then. I don't remember them, so watching these shows, like it just gives me like a hint of like this seems familiar, but I
Yeah.
don't recall a lot of like the
Yeah.
big points and personalities and all the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to V about this a lot. I'm struggling with the books a lot. I think just because I love the show so much and Shonda Rhimes just does such a good job with the shows, but it's not
Yeah.
just the stories. Like, it's the music, it's the outfits, it's the actors, how they portray it. All of that I think has just come together so well. Like, the modern twist that she's giving, the
Yeah.
diversity and whatnot, and she adds a lot more in that. Honestly, like I said, I've only read 2 books, so she's probably integrating all of it that I haven't got to yet. But yeah, this is like the first time I'm leaning more towards a show or a movie or whatever
Then a
rather
book.
than
Yeah.
a book, but we'll see once I get through more of them. I want to do the shows first cuz I don't want to ruin anything. And then I will read the books as we go from there.
Yeah.
Because you read the books via Audible, the first 2 ones, right?
Which
I'm wondering if
also,
you just read it in the voices you already know for these characters and the
Yeah.
personalities that you know, if it would be better versus
yeah,
the characters that Audible makes it. So maybe the
totally.
next one you should physically like read them and see if that makes a
Yeah.
change for you.
Cuz they
Yeah.
make the guys very misogynistic and very aggressively misogynistic, and I have a very hard time with that. Um and like, obviously, god, that there's elements of that within the show too, that's par for the time, but it's just so much more blatant and in your
Cheesy.
face kind of in the books. Um
Yeah.
but I got them all on Audible for free cuz somebody told me to go get them. So
It's a good
I have them
meal.
for
Free
free.
all the time.
I know. But I mean, we'll see. I'll keep going. I'm obviously not giving up because I love, love the show. But
Yeah. See, I think I would have been less distracted by his flirting, I guess, in this if there had been a little more in some of
lead
the
up.
previous ones, because I
Mhm.
feel like he took such a back burner in a lot of that, and, like, I feel like they made Anthony more of the, like, flirt, sleeping around like, I feel like they played up the other brothers more in that way and not so
Yeah.
much Colin, and if they had played him up more so in those seasons, I don't think it would have felt so, like, oh my god, he
Yeah.
is literally making his round to every lady in this
Yep.
fucking room, which again, live your best life, sir. But I just wasn't expecting that after the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
They
2
made him
And
kind
I
of
think
like
that's how
innocent.
they transition. Yeah, I think that's how they try to transition it. Like he went away and he got due proportions. I don't really know if that's what they meant by that, but yeah. But maybe because of all of that, that's why he became
Yes.
the little playboy he's trying to be now.
And I mean, I definitely felt like they catered to that storyline as
Mhm.
it progresses, but I was just like, again, it was just such a initial gut punch that I was like, "Oh my goodness, okay, Colin, freaking making his rounds." I was
I
not
mean, I thought it was hilarious, but
I loved it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I thought it was hilarious. I was just like laughing that whole
Yeah.
entire time.
Meanwhile, Francesca has no interest in finding love. She's like, I know
I
it's
just wanna get
there.
married.
Someone who'll let me play my music and
Mhm.
I
it'll be
know.
fine. Like,
She just
someone who's
wants to get the
nice.
F out that house. She's like, I am ready to
I
not
know.
be in the chaos anymore.
Mhm.
She wants to get
Did you ever
out.
feel that way?
I didn't feel like she wanted to get out of the house.
I met you out of my house.
Oh, all the time.
Oh my god, I'm dead. She's just very practically minded,
Yeah.
whereas
Mhm.
every other sibling is so emotionally driven, so it is funny to watch someone who's just like, "Nope, I'm just trying to find someone who's kind and will let me play my music and kinda let me be, and I'll be
Yeah.
head of that house, and it is what it is." I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
"Alright, sounds good."
Going off of that, with people having kind of a big switch from previous
Yeah.
seasons, I was not expecting Eloise to make such a big shift. When she came out and was like dressed up in her little
Mhm.
frilly dresses, obeying everything they said, like going to do her walks around the dawn and do all the
Uh-huh.
whatever. I was not prepared
No, I
Especially with
wasn't
Cressida,
either.
right?
with
That's the
Cressida.
part that really got me.
Yeah, that
I
friendship confused me.
I agree. It kinda grew on me by the end of episode 2, but at the beginning, I was like,
Yeah.
"What in the hell is happening?" I mean, obviously, her and Penelope had their falling out, so I did not expect their friendship to be magically rekindled. But, yeah, that was an interesting, switch up from Penelope. They're very different people.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the years of torment that she's put Penelope through specifically, but then
Uh,
everyone through, I find it hard that like one summer in the country was enough for her to like be like, "Yeah, you're the one I want to be friends with now."
but I do think Cressida's very blunt and a little more crass, where that does meet Eloise. Kind of more on that level, where all the other ladies are so still like pretentious and ladylike and
Mhm.
talking about their embroidery or whatever. I was just like, that's where I could see why she had picked Cressida
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
it continued. But yeah, at the beginning, I was like, what the hell happened here?
Well, and she can be blunt with her in a way that I don't think Cressida's ever had someone be blunt with her, and in a way that she needs to a fault, because definitely Eloise made some blunders there at the end with just expecting the worst in her, and I did
Mhm.
feel kind of bad for Cressida at that point. But um, yeah, I think she'll be good for her. It's just a matter of her laying off of Penn.
I
She's
did
got it
not
out
love
for
those.
her.
I
She has it out for everybody. Are you kidding me?
I
Yeah,
Cressida
mean,
was just
yeah.
anyone she saw to like that was
bring
less than
down.
her.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
easy. But those kind of people pick on the people that to help boost them up, right? Like it helps their confidence. And so obviously Cressida has some confidence issues, and I think that Eloise helps her give like a different insight to it. So I really do think they complement each other in not like the way that I suspected, but like towards the end of episode 2, I'm like, oh, okay.
Like
I
they
see.
can grow from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Another thing that I found super interesting, obviously they focus so much on how many years that you're out. And so Pen's whole thing with her mom is like, oh, how is a girl that's been out 3 full years? This is your 3rd season. Your likelihood of getting a husband is so low. One, Cressida's been out that whole time too, because Cressida, I'm pretty sure, was out in the 1st season.
Yes.
Right?
Wasn't
She
Penelope also the same season?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Her
it's like,
empty
well, Cressida's still out. That's her 3rd season. But also, comparison to the book, in the book, it's Daphne's 3rd season that she meets Simon. Granted, she's had a lot of marriage proposals during that time that she turned down because she's looking for love. But still, it's her 3rd season. So I feel like they're putting a lot more emphasis in the show on how many seasons that you're out for.
But it's true, back then, like you came out, I don't know, when you were 16 or 18, I don't remember.
Yeah.
You came out early.
Yeah.
And then you really were considered a spinster after a handful of years, not even, when you actually are
20 and 6.
26.
20 and 6. Kate was 20 and 6, and she was really, really old.
But I think I saw something, and again, I haven't read the books, where really Penelope is supposed to be quite a bit older by the time her and Colin do happen. And so this spinster storyline isn't as weird in the books because they really have aged her in that way, where for us, it still feels like she's still on the younger side, even though I love that her actress is in her like isn't she 37 or something?
Oh my god, Nicola is beautiful. Like she's aging so nice.
I know. She's 37.
But no, she looks stunning.
Amazing.
I was like, what? Okay.
Crazy.
Well, that plays Francesca, she's 29.
Yeah.
They're all
they're beautiful.
Kate's like 28.
Yeah.
So like they're all,
yes,
overlapped. But in the books, I think Pen is 28 when her and Colin finally get together.
Yeah.
So, but Colin gets married 10 years after Daphne. So this is in the books, it is a long time from the first book.
Whereas this feels like it's like year after year after year.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with. I kind of like that it's like kink,
Agreed.
But Eloise is in her 2nd year, and her mom's not putting any pressure on her.
She actually
yet.
Like took it off. Yeah.
Very hands off. So like I wonder if it's like once they get into the 3rd year, that's when everyone's like, all right, like this is like your last year to figure your shit out, or else we'll just sell you off.
Yeah.
You're a spinster now. You get to live at home forever. Oh god, that's such a sad way to live, I feel like.
I mean, but if you think about it, like the people that are in that society, like none of them work because they all just have
just born to the money,
like just born in
Benedict's the Benedicts,
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep doing parties.
They just party and get married and have heirs, and that's it.
Yep.
That's so funny. Oh, speaking of heirs, oh my god, Kate and Anthony were just like all over each other. Holy cow. I was whoa.
So much.
Yeah, Ariana was with me when I was rewatching episode 2.
No, that was 1. That was the first one.
Episode 1, when she was like, let your mom just stay here. Let her be the Viscountess for however long.
A while longer.
Let's just make some babies. And Ariana was like, that's my favorite, when they're on the desk and he like pushes all this stuff.
Papers. I was
like, it just like spreads her. And it's just like,
I know. I was like,
get out of my way.
I appreciate if you can still get excited with nothing showing, but the actors are so good at expressing the chemistry there.
See,
Oh,
my
so
other
good.
favorite was when she's, like, trying to, like, get out of bed because all of these people are home, and he's, like, between her legs, and I was like, "Oh my god, okay." She's
Like,
like, "Dude."
straight up between her legs. Yep.
I know, I was like, "Alright."
He's like, "We're making a baby." She's like,
That's
"That's not how that's done."
That I died when she said that. She was like, that is not how you make a baby. Hey,
Wait.
at least one woman in Bridgerton knows how to make a freaking baby because none of the
Because
rest of
she's
them know how to make them.
Oh my
because she's
god!
20 and 6, she has a little more age to understand the,
Okay. Mrs.
penis
Bridgerton
in
did
whole.
Daphne so dirty.
Yes.
So dirty. Honestly, all these mamas doing their daughters dirty by not telling them the real.
This
I
was
will
not
give it to
discussed.
Miss Featherington. Miss
I died.
Featherington tells her ladies what's up, and when she says you have to
No.
put when you insert it,
Only
and
because
they said insert what? I was like,
And her just turning around and being like, "Why me? Why is this me?" I died at her little,
Yeah.
like, existential crisis she has in that moment. Like, "What do you mean? Where do you like, what?"
she's like, we do a lot of kissing.
she's like, "Our money is riding on you having a baby, and you haven't even had sex yet. Kissing does not make a baby."
And the
Anyway,
fact that
so-
she said that he just like groans, so he's just
And has to go
literally
change his britches.
so excited he can't put it in. He can't get
And
there.
then he changes his britches.
His britches are still on? Of course. What do you mean?
Well,
I
and
was
it's funny 'cause
dying.
at least the other sister had, done that much, even
Yeah.
though once, and was just like, "I didn't like that." And I was just
She's like,
like,
"My
"Oh
hair got
God."
flat in the back. I don't want to."
Yeah,
You're
I know.
cracking me up.
They were cracking me up. Wait, which one is which?
I
Is-
think
Philippa is the kind of dumb one, I think.
yeah, the one who
who's the
didn't
one
actually
with
have
Mr.
sex.
Finch? Okay. Can we talk about her glow up? Because
Oh, it's so good.
I was staring at her at one point because she had her like tan, her big hair, her
Mhm.
dress was like everything.
Mhm.
She was working it. I was like, yes, girl, you look good.
I know.
You know that
Really.
her and the guy that plays Benedict are dating in real life?
Are they?
I love
Mhm.
that.
So fun.
Oh, pretty.
I know.
That makes me feel a little better because I saw okay, I had to delete or silence a bunch of these freaking Bridgerton Facebook things because I kept
Mhm.
having things pop up. And one of them was talking about her glow up, and I was like, yes, I agree. And someone on there wrote, someone was like, oh, good job, Mr. Finch. And someone else wrote, or should we say Benedict? And I was like, oh no, did I just read a spoiler? And I got very, very worried. So I feel so much better now.
Knowing
Doesn't
that
have a
they're just
spoiler.
dating in
Next
real
dots
life.
for you.
You're
Dating in
welcome.
real life.
Oh my God,
All the
that's so
theories.
I don't
great.
know how you read anything. Anytime I see anything Bridgerton on any of the social media things, I click. I don't even try. The picture is just a blur, and I just go right past it.
I don't
even
mean
try
to.
There's
don't
too
mean
You
much.
do.
to.
You're reading it.
I
If you
know.
like
The
the
problem
one-
is there's also pictures. So there's been enough
Oh.
picture moments where I already know an important scene
Mhm.
that happens by the end of episode 4 where I'm just like,
Hmm.
damn it. Damn
Yeah.
it. And it's not because I've read anything. It's truly just pictures. And I'm like, no, I know it's coming. Not that I'm not excited for it, but I'm annoyed that I
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. no,
I love
people are-
little spoilers where I can kind of prepare myself.
Little
So-
cynical. That's all.
One of the other things I kept getting a little distracted by, and I'm sure it's going to have more of a plot point as we continue, was the whole Lady Kent passing and William and Alice's son coming to be I was like, what is the point of this storyline? I'm again
Yeah.
assuming it's gonna come to fruition later. It was so distracting for me. I did not care in these first 2 episodes for it. I didn't love it personally. I mean, I'm
think
glad they
I
got
don't know.
wealth, but
Was it in the books, Kayla? About
Not
Lady
where I'm
Kent
at.
dying?
They have not even been talked
introduced.
about at all.
I don't even know. I don't even think they're in the book. I think that it's just like a side thing that they probably added.
Added.
To
Mhm.
the series to help fill in like a filler kind of story.
Mhm.
So I think the whole Lady Kent thing was just kind of a way to add the Benedict family, because they are a very cute family, right? They're like down to earth and they're just
So
like,
cute.
it adds more to it. So I think that's just their way of
adding them to
insert.
society.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other part that I didn't understand was, who the fuck is Aunt Petunia? Did she really die? Did she have money? How did the Featheringtons get their money back?
Do you remember in the second season? Oh, you don't remember anything. So the guy, it was like a distant cousin, a Featherington.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
So
guy.
he came, stole all their money, but then the mom, whatever her name, like figured out his plan and was like, "You're gonna disappear. You're gonna leave all this money, or else I'm gonna out you," basically.
That's right.
Yes.
And then he was
she
like,
blackmailed
okay.
him.
Yeah.
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 And
Sorry,
so-
words were not coming out. That's what I was trying to get out,
Well,
but I was like, bleh.
And that document about them inheriting the estate, if one of them has an heir, is very much forged. That is not real in any way, shape, or which is why she's like, y'all need to have a baby ASAP. Get on
Yeah.
it. Because, you know, I can't remember what guy was looking into it, but
He's like the royal
yeah,
heritage guy or whatever.
yeah, that follows the.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about Lady Featherington, her comment to Penelope about it's not so bad being single and whatever, and you're going to take care of me basically for the rest of your life because you're never going to get married, and that being like the changing point, like, fuck that, I'm not going to live here anymore. I'm going to find a husband. I don't care. And then that's what kind of made Penelope like have her glow up.
That, and she didn't want to have to end up being under her sisters. She was like, I cannot be under these two psychos. Like because they kept talking about putting her books in a closet, and or like the way they kept talking to her, I was like, oh my god, you guys are such assholes.
Yeah.
They just saw her as less, right?
No.
Oh yeah, they weren't even considering a possibility where Penelope would inherit ever. So
Yeah.
Or marry in general.
yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, it was like a completely. I loved that Penelope was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I want now. I'm gonna wear what I want now. I'm not gonna look like shit anymore. I'm not gonna wear these ugly ass dresses anymore. I'm gonna wear ones that are my coloring. I'm gonna wear ones that are French, like my man is wearing, even though it's not her man yet, but she's trying to match him. But the only thing that made me kind of sad is her glow up was so good, and like she still got kind of shit on that night because like she didn't know how to come through with it, like personality wise and stuff yet. So I get that, but I was like, oh, it was such a good like Cinderella moment. But
well, and even her mom made the comment about how dreary of a color it was, and I was like,
oh
bitch, that is her fucking color.
Colors.
This bitch has been wearing fucking bright ass yellow, and you think this is a downgrade? Ma'am.
Oh, she looks so good.
On that like yellow, on their citrusy like colors though, there's like this thing that says that they wear all those bright citrus colors to hide their like dark past, like it's almost like a shield, like an armor.
Oh,
interesting. And now she's just wearing it like out there. She's like, oh,
it was very peacock. The colors that she wore for her debut gown, I was just like, ooh, I love like the sheen, the iridescence of it. And
loved it.
I was like, yes, you grabbed that attention, and everyone looked, because even that one guy, that brother-in-law, the goofy one, the
Benedict,
one with the big red hair. No,
the big red hair.
Oh, Mr. Finch.
Mr. Finch. He was like, oh, they're not staring at us.
Yeah, they're staring at her.
Staring at Pen.
Did anyone else's back kind of hurt a little bit watching her in all those dresses? Because her tits are like up to here. I was like, girl, that corset's gonna hurt.
My lungs hurt for her, but not my back.
Ugh, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like my rib cage hurts thinking about it.
Up to here.
But also, I
so
kept
hard all the time in the first 2 episodes.
I know the way she breathed. The amount of social media I feel like I saw that was like, damn, I need to figure out what corset she was using, because her boobs be looking fire in these dresses. Like there were many people who were like,
full boobs anyway, and so any corset
Oh,
my
yeah,
gosh.
she's got big boobs. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously then Cressida rips this beautiful new dress of hers, which I
Oh,
was
I would have ripped her hair. Ooh, girl.
I know. And I felt so bad because Eloise had just been watching her attempt to flirt and fail miserably. And you could just tell she felt so like, oh, bud. I'm so sorry. And so when Cressida did that, I was like, Eloise, fucking fight her. Like, back up your friend more. And I'm glad she did. She did back her up. But I was just like, what the fuck? No. This makes me so mad. She spent all this money to get this
Ugh.
new dress and then rips it. Like, ooh, I was so mad. So
I
mad.
was also extremely proud of Penn for telling Colin off and like telling him his
Oh,
business.
I loved it.
Love that. I was like, yes, I am so glad you did that. And you like stood up for yourself and told him, like, hey, I'm not just going to be your friend like behind closed doors. I heard what you said about me, and let him stew in that because he is a good person and he said he did a shitty
It
thing.
was fully
So
mean.
I love that part.
Because I'm just
Well,
now
and then their
remembering.
little quote that they're like, are we not friends? And she's like, friends, and like shakes his hand. I know that's going to become a common theme throughout where
The
she's going to be like,
friend zone
we're
thing,
just
that part.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin's going to be the one that regrets saying that. Ugh, I can't wait.
I appreciated in the beginning of the episode when the girls were coming out to make their debut in front of the Queen that there was BSL in there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I did appreciate seeing that. ASL, but British.
Oh,
They're-
yes.
Mhm.
Her thinking face. What is that?
I know. That's why I was like,
Lori
I'm going to help connect the dots because the
Yeah.
dots aren't connecting yet.
The dots were not connecting.
But I love that because my nephew's deaf, and so I was like, oh, I love whenever I see any kind of
I know.
like inclusivity.
They're
to
just really
anything.
good about trying to include representation in this
Yeah.
show,
Mhm.
which is obviously very different for the time period piece that it is. It's so refreshing to have all of this
Yeah.
different.
That's what I love. I love that about it. I love.
It was
Sorry,
interesting in this first episode. The Queen is so disinterested in everything going on this season. She wants nothing to do with picking a diamond. She's so
Yeah.
like whatever about all these women. There was the one event she didn't even attend, even though it's about her. And I was
I
like,
know.
man, she is checked out this season.
Yeah.
She said, F all of you. My pick last year didn't quite do what I thought it was going to. So I hate all of you. And then
Yep.
freaking Penelope
Yeah.
is
Her
Lady
diamond did not go
Whistledown
well.
really yeah, no, it did not go well.
No, her pick did not go well the year before, but the Edwina still made a good match, and so she was trying to be like,
Yes.
well, she still did a good job. She just didn't do it here.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no. Penelope giving her shit as Lady Whistledown really cracked me up. And she's like, who says I'm gonna pick a diamond? I'm just gonna pick someone that sparkles. And I was like, same concept, ma'am. It's the same concept. You're just giving it a different name.
I love Lady Danbury's influence on
I know.
everything and everyone, and
I
I
love
love
her.
it. She's got more power than a lot of people I think give her credit for, but she's
Yes.
I don't think Francesca is going to enjoy being potentially the
No.
diamond, though. She's not wanting spotlight. She, once again, just wants to find a man that is adequate enough to be a husband and will be kind. And so I don't know that she'll really like the spotlight, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
My opinion is that I don't think that she's expecting to find like a love match.
Yeah.
No.
Like, not necessarily she's not looking for it, but
she's not expecting it.
Yeah.
For sure. Just because she's already said that. She's like, I already know that it's rare what you and Dad had.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Daphne and same thing with Anthony. Like, they all found love, like, unexpectedly. And
Yeah.
so she's not expecting it for herself. So,
yeah.
I think she definitely is taking more pessimistic stance towards it too in general. Like, not only is she not looking for it, I think she truly is not expecting it at all either. So I'm excited to see who she ends up with for that reason, because
Yeah.
this is a romance, and I feel like she's a happily ever after writer, even though she makes her people go through the trenches. So I'm excited to see who she ends up with.
Do you think that we've already seen him? Do you think we've already seen him in any of like the bits that?
Yes, I
Shush.
do.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, I think we have, but not as a major character. I think as like a background character. I feel like
Do
I've
you have any
seen whispers
guesses
of
so
that.
far?
What?
I've not seen any whispers, but if you could take a guess, if you think that we've already seen them,
No, couldn't guess his name.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but like a picture or
No.
like a clip of him, like if you.
No, I don't know who.
I mean, I'm not going to answer because I think I've seen pictures already.
Okay, then never mind. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I will say that since you're reading the books, once you get to their Francesca's book, you'll love it.
I was gonna say, I heard that's a lot of people's
Remember?
one of their favorite storylines is
I
actually
have
Francesca.
heard that's one of, yeah.
It's my favorite book.
Yeah,
Ariana
that's what I have very
still
consistently heard.
Yeah, when I still had the books before I donated them to the library,
Reluctantly now.
Reluctantly now, it's very sad about it. Ariana was reading my books, not because I wanted.
I snuck them in my room at night.
Oh my God,
I
I love
respect
it.
that. I feel like I did a lot of that early on.
Yes, girl.
I didn't know. Poor little me, like 14-year-old me, didn't know what kind of books these were until
Yep.
I got to those parts, and I was just like, "What is my mom reading right now? And why are they displayed for everyone to see?" And now my own books are displayed for everyone to see. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I've also heard that, I think, don't people like Benedict's book?
I heard it was okay.
Or maybe
Yeah, I
maybe that's what
It's
it
like
is.
a
It's one way or the other.
Benedict's is a Cinderella retelling.
I just at this point can't picture
well-
Benedict like settling down at all. He
Wanting
just
to-
seems
yeah.
so content and just not.
He likes
Yeah.
his art. So
Mhm.
season 1 ended with Penelope getting very emotional after leaving that party, and she just started hate writing in her.
Oh,
Lady Whistle
episode
Down.
1?
Yeah,
Rage writing.
rage writing. She was pissed, and then they were reading all the things, and they were like, ooh. And so now Colin's pissed at Lady Whistledown also.
Well, but
I
he was
know.
already pissed at Lady Whistledown for the way she initially wrote about
Eloise.
Everybody.
well, not only
Everybody.
Eloise, but
Who
it
is
was
that
like
girl?
his first love interest in the first season. What's
Oh.
her name? I'm
Oh, the
blanking.
one that ended up pregnant?
The
Yeah.
one that was
Yes.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember
Yes,
what her name was.
because he's been harboring like resentment towards Lady Whistledown this whole time. And so,
Yeah.
when Eloise was having that conversation with him, I was like, oh, it's gonna be bad when he finds out.
I
Oh,
know.
shit.
Okay,
It
but
is
then
bad.
I keep thinking about this because we'll see what they do with the show. They do all these like after and then after the epilogue in the books, like so like 20 years in the future or whatever. I want to know if Colin is going to know that she is Lady Whistledown because Lady Whistledown doesn't stop, but yet also maybe it's no longer her. So it's like interesting to see how that progresses of is it still going to be her? Is someone else going to take over? Is he going to know? Like I feel like he's got to find out.
Yeah.
That's got to be a huge part of their story.
Well, Kindle.
And I hope that Francesca and Penelope get closer and closer because I like that they've been kind of navigating towards each other because I think they're very similar. They are kind of wallflowers, but very talented in their own rights. And so I hope that like that friendship flourishes a little bit because I hate the idea of Penn having nobody other than Colin. Like I want like do I think that her and Eloise will come back together eventually? I mean, I hope so because they were such good friends.
Don't.
You don't?
No, I'm a grudge person. If I was Penn, I would be holding a grudge against
you guys are so similar.
But can't you say that in the same light for think of everything that Penn wrote about her family? She dragged them through the mud. She made a lot of very personal and pointed remarks about the Bridgerton family, which is they are diehard family forever, and about Eloise herself.
I feel like she did that about everyone in the ton, though. Like, it wasn't only the Bridgertons.
Yes,
Yeah.
but this is her best friend, and she talked to her extensively about how much she was looking for her and how she wanted to find her because of all these things she was writing. Like, just because she's writing it about everyone doesn't excuse the fact that she is writing it about her best friend's family, who also has taken her in, has treated her like family too. Yes, it would look weird if she didn't write about them.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we do get to episode 2 where she has to write about herself, and she is brutal on herself as well. So
I'm glad that she is.
I agree, and I do think that Eloise will see that and maybe, like, really take that a little bit more to heart too. Like, okay, she really is writing about anything going on so she does not get caught. Like, there's no exclusivity here at all, including herself.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very important. But before that, I see where Eloise was coming from, is it just felt like a betrayal. Regardless of who she was writing about.
I can understand Eloise's betrayal, but, you know, from the first 2 episodes that we got, for me, for Penn, like, for Eloise to watch Cressida still be so mean to Penn, and she kind of let it happen. You know, it's not like she went up to him and was like, hey, chill.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. Like, that's something that
in private, though. She spoke to her in private and was like, hey, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah. She did, but
she should have said something in public. It shouldn't have just been a private thing.
And we're childhood friends living across the street from each other for forever.
True, but not people don't take things well when you talk to them in public about something.
Yeah.
Especially when you are close friends. So yes, we see it as like, you should have said something right then and there to show that you were, you know, your loyalties or whatever. But sometimes it doesn't matter how close you are to somebody. If you get called out in public, it's not received well, and that's going to fuck some shit up for sure.
Well, and they're very much in a society where I feel like most of those things are supposed to happen more behind closed doors. It's not supposed to be this advertised in front of other people. You're supposed to present a very lady type front in front of others. And so even though Eloise is more crass, I do think she would still wait just because of the implications behind having some sort of fight in public like that.
Yeah.
Also.
I mean, I don't mean with Penn, I mean with Cressida. I just wish she would have stood up in the moment more. I know she kind of did after the fact, but yeah. But again, like you said, not necessarily realistic for the time and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, I hated that part too. That really, really, really bothered me.
Well, we can make a full transition to episode 2. Colin and Penelope's training finally begins, and I died.
Yep, she's looking for her husband, and she's like, I don't know how to do it. I suck at this. Whenever, like,
she really does.
My mouth, they don't communicate well, and I know I can be charming. I just can't do it. And he's like, I'll train you. I got you.
And it's so funny because he has so much more faith in her than she has in herself.
Yes. She doesn't have good like self-confidence, and so just the fact that she still has a person, regardless of who he's trying to be or what he is, I think it's so nice, because her other friend is no longer her friend. Her best friend is no longer her friend.
Yeah.
Then her other best friend is an eligible bachelor who has already confessed that he would never court her because of whatever reasons. So she's like abandoned. It's so sad.
Yeah, I got icked out with her attempt at flirting.
Yeah.
I got secondhand embarrassment.
Oh yeah.
That
part for sure.
Secondhand embarrassment for sure.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, Colin trying to help her. Like, I kind of wish that they would have found like a different way. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this trope, the friends to lovers trope.
Neither am I.
Bored. Like, I'm like, where's the drama that came?
Where's the heat? You're looking for the heat. I felt some heat when lesson 1. What was lesson 1? Lesson 1 was, let me see how you interact with people, and
it was terrible.
They were promenading in the park, and he was like, go talk to those people. And she's like,
And they're just like,
what
are
is he
you
like,
okay?
Like, you look crazy is essentially what he said.
It's like, you look
discontented.
Yeah. She's like,
Yes.
no. What do you oh, well there.
Well, and it's like with her giant boobs too. She's just like at them. Just what?
They get sweaty.
Especially the underparts.
Yeah,
True.
well,
Oh,
and just
speaking of like wardrobe things, sorry, I'm telling you, my brain. The summer muff. Do you remember? Did you guys see this little thing that was going around? So, what's her name?
Eloise.
What's her real name?
I don't know.
The actress that plays Eloise, she had broken her wrist for a while and she had to wear splint. So the muff that she's constantly wearing, one of her hands doesn't move for a long time. So she's always wearing a muff, which doesn't make sense because it's summertime.
Yeah.
So she always covers it. And then Ariana was watching with me and I was writing it down in my notes. I'm like, make sure to talk about the summer muff. And I was like, my summer muff's naked.
I was just laying on the floor minding my business. And she's like, my summer muff is naked. And I threw up a little bit.
I didn't say it like that.
Yes, you did.
I said the words, but it was not like that. Anyways, but yeah, if you just pay attention, her hand is in something. It's underneath something. It doesn't move a lot.
It's always under something.
Yes. And so I didn't know if you guys had seen that too.
No, I hadn't. I had no idea.
Honestly, you're only like
Which makes
on
sense.
her.
Yeah.
As if she were pregnant. That's what they do to pregnant people.
Or they put a muff.
Or a muff.
Mm-hmm.
A clothing muff.
Summer muff.
Look
out for
That's what they
summer
called it.
muff.
They called it that. They called it her summer muff. So I didn't make that term up. I didn't coin it or anything. In an interview, that's what she talked about.
You just
Was
turned
her
it
summer
dirty.
Oh my God. Speaking of dirty, I was not prepared for the random threesome Colin was having to pop up.
Oh
on
my God.
I loved it.
I mean,
Of course
I
you
wasn't
did.
mad at it. I wasn't mad at it, but I was just like,
I love it, but
okay.
I'm all about like seeing that skin getting indented between like Kayla has get a lot of bruises, Kayla.
Oh my God. Okay.
I just will never get over the handprints we were trying to figure out that were on your ass when we were going swimming one day. That was my favorite. We were all like, how exactly? Hey, turn. We're trying to figure out exactly what position y'all were in to get these handprints. We
That happened to us again in Leavenworth. All the girls were like walking behind me and they were like, Kayla, those are finger marks. Like those are definitely like handprint finger marks on your thighs. And they're all like, how does this work? And V was like, let me show you. And she like flipped me and was like, it's like this. And I was like, you're not wrong. So yeah, I bruise.
Like a peach.
Like a peach.
We just get to know about your sexual escapades because of them.
I know.
And they're recent because you bruise so fast.
So fast, like literally the next day.
It was very dirty. I thought it was very still done tastefully. It wasn't like raunchy or anything like that.
No.
Yes, we saw some nipples and breasts or whatever.
Love a good boob.
I mean, if we can show guys' chests, then I don't feel like women's chests.
Well, and I've got to also say I appreciated that they were not the most petite of women. Like they were curvy. Like, let's go. Representation. Realistic bodies. Let's appreciate.
Yeah.
So I did very much like that personally.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, we kind of already talked about the whole Philippa and Prudence conversation about the whole. That still kills me. But they did show that they successfully had sex later that night. So maybe we will.
Okay.
One of them had fun. The other
They
one was
also, I mean, yes, but they also went from like not putting it in to like
putting it in.
She was on him, and I was like, "Get it, girl." Okay,
I know.
She's like, that's how we do it. You have to take your britches off, sir. Let's go.
She enjoys her husband.
She does. They're very cute.
Finch.
Mr.
Finch. She likes Mr. Finch.
Mr. Finch likes her.
Yeah.
He's like a dumb cutie.
He reminds me of the guy in Frozen.
Hans? Kristoff.
I feel like would be more so.
Like some blowout.
No. Which other guy? The bad one.
Hans.
Oh, Hans.
Hans. He reminds me of Hans.
Like the
No.
lizard.
Buttons, red hair and stuff like
I could see that.
The other husband reminds me of a little lost puppy that just wants to be loved.
Yes. I feel bad
He's
for
so
him.
sweet. She's just like a bonbon, and I just love her. And she's like, ew. No,
She
here.
is so mildly turned off by him, and it is so funny. And she's
It's
like,
not
ugh.
even mild. She is 100%
I know,
turned
but
off
like
by
just the
him.
comments she makes to him, I like die. I'm like, oh god, this poor
It's
man.
drier than a Sahara for him.
So in this episode, Colin also asks Penelope what happened between her and Eloise, which Penelope once again also evades this answer because I think at the time she was like, "Oh, sorry, my maid. Like we must go," which I love.
No.
Wasn't her
How
name?
did you hear that? Her name.
Was her name
Ray.
Ray? Right. I loved her. I really felt like even though she was very much a background character, like she had such good little moments where I was like, "Oh, I'm very excited to see." Like, I think she's gonna
Oh,
become.
she's watching him like a hawk. She's like,
I
"What are you doing, sir? Why are you with my lady?" And you don't get very much alone time with her.
But also,
So-
she helps in a lot of ways too.
Yes.
Speaking of the alone time, I remember in season 1, they made it a really big deal that, you know, you always had to have another
You
person
do.
around you. Like if a lady was alone with a guy, like that could not happen. And that's the whole reason why Daphne and the Duke had to get married. Right?
Yes.
The Duke, yeah. But they, like, Penelope and Colin are always alone.
It's because she's a spinster now. No one's interested in her.
No, I think
she
they
made
would still get in trouble.
Yeah, which is
What?
why I think that's why it was such a big deal at the end of episode 2 where she was like, I'm now on the shelf. No one will consider me because you have basically spoiled my virginity by us colluding together. That's why it was such a big moment, I think, at
That
the
what she
end.
meant? I
Yes,
didn't get that back.
that is my understanding as to why she needed him to kiss her because no one would ever kiss her. No one will consider marrying her because she's spoiled goods now. Because
No, I didn't see it as a spoiled good thing. I saw it as that she was desperate. No one
Like
wants
pathetic.
a desperate woman.
That's
Yeah,
how I
that's
saw it
all.
too. But I think
I
it is
think
a
it's
little bit of
both.
both. I think it's a little bit of both, but I did see it more as like she's so desperate that and Colin did this to pity her
Mhm.
to help her along, and she can't find a man that badly that she needs help from him, which is just
Yeah,
sad.
because if he spoiled her, then he would have had to take the responsibility of marrying her right like very soon after. So that's why I got just the
Or
impression.
not. Or and then she's just spoiled.
And
like
then
either
she's really
letting
just
her be
spoiled. Oh, yeah.
ruined or yeah.
And
True,
I
true,
really
true.
think she was of that mindset, like, he is so not into marrying me that I will just be spoiled goods at this point. Like, no one will
Oh.
marry me now. Like, because even the way he comes at Eloise and he was like, how the fuck did people find out? Like, why would you, like, he was so mad at her. And I felt like a lot of it was because it really does ruin her reputation for anyone else.
I didn't think that either. That's so
Yeah.
interesting. No,
Hmm.
I just saw it as that he was trying to help his friend and he told his sister not to tell anybody and they weren't going to tell anybody. So he was just mad at his sister for saying something to anybody. And
Yeah,
that's,
no.
but I didn't see it as,
I mean,
'cause
it'll
even
be
Eloise
interesting
and
to see.
Cressida had a conversation when they were initially talking about it. They were like, "Oh, that's really scandalous. Like, an eligible bachelor is helping her. That's extremely scandalous." So I felt like the way they conversed about it, they very much downplayed it this season. But I do think that's a huge part of why it's an issue. It's because he is an eligible bachelor, and they were doing a lot of these things
but in
alone.
public. They were doing it in public.
Yeah, I felt like it
But-
was more like a team
No.
thing.
They weren't though.
Because
She was
when
alone with him in the house.
yeah,
That was
'cause-
the one time.
yeah, but she
because he
told
tried to-
Cressida that, and they overheard that.
But Cressida didn't know that she was in the house by herself with him in a room. Like this, she just knows that they were at the house. There was family there and everything like that. They usually is a bunch of people there. I don't know. I just saw it as different, but it's good to like hear your insight because I can probably look at it in a different way
I mean,
when we watch the next episodes.
but it also this could be another sad fact of the fact that maybe it's not as scandalous because no one would think that he would ever
Yeah. Because he already made it very clear.
Ever be intimate with her, so it's not like it's a threat of them being intimate, it's just her desperation. So that could be a part of it too, is no one is seeing it as a scandal on a sexual side because they don't think that he would ever cross that line with her. And that's just another sad fact of them all degrading her and not seeing her as worthy of him, you know?
Yeah, because did Lady
do you-
Whistledown write it as him being a scoundrel, or did she just mainly write it as Penelope is the desperate one and no one's going to
Penelope's
want
the
her?
desperate
Yeah.
one.
So that's
Yeah, she very much
that's
wrote it
why I
that
still
way.
don't think that she's technically spoiled goods. It's just she's no longer
Yeah, but
desirable.
I'm curious to see in this next episode what happens because her and Lord Remington hit it off. And I'm curious if he'll still like call to her to see her now that this has all come to fruition, or if that will really just ruin her reputation and he won't see her.
I hope they do, and I hope that she at least has a moment, and I feel like she will, to make Colin super jealous. I want to see Colin jealous.
He's been getting. I feel like he's already getting jealous whenever he's. Because
Is it? I don't know, because he almost gives proud vibes a little bit of like, yeah, girl, she's doing it. But like, I haven't really gotten intense jealousy vibes from him.
not intense. I feel like it's just a scant bit of it, but I definitely feel like
I want
it's not
intense jealousy.
Yeah,
Out
but I
of his
think
mind jealous. That's what I
the
want.
kiss will really expedite some of that jealousy a little bit because
Yeah,
I think
seriously.
that knocked his socks off a little bit and he was not ready for that because man, what could have been a cute little here they went for seconds, y'all. They went for seconds, and I was
They
here
sure
for
did.
it.
This
tongue.
was so good. Was there tongue? Yes, there was tongue, but it was good. Like I was like, oh,
Yes.
I was like, that is not a
Doesn't-
first time kiss, girl. Like, girl,
Uh-huh.
yes. It was a good
Well,
kiss.
And I
it
love
was a good
that
kiss.
she's the one that walked away from it.
Yes.
I loved that. I was like, yes, leave him hanging. Leave him
And
to ponder
he was
what the
reeling,
fuck that was.
reeling from it. He was like, I just got kicked in the face.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. And that's from
Wait.
someone that has been sleeping around all summer long.
Yes, and kissing all the women. Like that was not
Yes.
like
The
Exotic.
and
I
the
loved it.
Spanish women and all of those people. Sorry, I'm trying to find my note. There was a guy. It was in the first episode who was like kind of hitting on Penelope. No, he wasn't kind of. He was hitting on her.
when she got her dress stepped on. I can't remember his name, but I think he's kind of her interest. I think this season it's not actually.
Is that not
Lord
Remington?
No,
Wait, which
Lord
one's
Remington
Remington?
was the
No.
one in the
I wrote it
makeshift
down. Who are
wheelchair.
you talking about? He
Oh,
was the redhead. Who was
yeah.
like,
I loved him also.
Oh,
Yeah, no, the redhead.
Lord Dublin.
That's
Yes.
that's
I
the
think,
one that
was
is
her.
going to be the guy. Yeah.
Yes, which
I
I'm
think
excited.
that's going to be.
I was like jealous.
Yes, I think
Yeah, I
he's
think-
supposed to be her other main love interest.
Like
this
love
season.
interest. Yeah. I think so too. Because that's
Man, I was
we've
like,
seen him in
"Ooh,
previews.
girl."
Which is funny because he had such a small moment. He was really only in that first episode, I feel like, in that small little blip before her dress got stepped on. And it was like her first time, like, actually successfully flirting to some degree without really Colin's help.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Well,
on
he
her
approached
own.
her and was already
Yes.
like, I feel like you
Mhm.
make other people with her or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Smooth.
I wrote it down also. Hold
He
on.
was like,
Maybe-
ma'am, let's make some cute little redheaded babies together. Let's go.
Maybe his whole vibe is going to be that like this whole thing happens and he doesn't give a shit and he's still
Yeah.
going to call on her and that's going to be mean
A
so
big
much to her.
competition.
But I think,
yeah, but no,
Lord Remington, the one in the wheelchair, won't though, because he confessed about how much he cared about Lady Whistledown's writing. So I really don't think he
Yes.
will call on her. I think
Yes.
he'll be like, "Oh nope, spoiled goods now." Like desperate, don't need that.
yeah. No, Lord Debling was when he was funny. He said, "You in turn know how to make one wither." I was like,
I
"Oh,
know. I
shit."
liked some of his lines. He had some good
I was
ones
like,
in that little blip.
He's doing things. He's doing things. And
I really hope that we get like some love letters from Colin or something. Once that takes off or becomes a thing, I hope, because they talk about his writing and how good it is and whatnot, I hope that that is a part of it and that we get like some love letters.
after she was found reading his thing and he got so mad and his hand was bleeding. Okay, the whole hand bleeding part when she wrapped it with a napkin or whatever that handkerchief. I think that was like the first
moment they had.
It was like, oh, there's
a spark.
Things are, tingling down in my lower abdomen.
In my britches.
My nether regions. Well,
anyways,
but
so
right before that, they had the eye contact because she said his eyes were so beautiful. So it like kind of played into that.
Yes, there was that. But so after she got caught and she had left or whatever, and she was like, "Your writing is very good. I would really love to read more if you'd let me." Who just asked? Can I read your smutty journal?
I love that.
Diaries.
Hey, maybe that's how he's gonna teach her a thing or two.
Maybe. But I was just like, dang, that's bold. That's bold to be asked.
Here for that, but he like had previously written to her all summer, so like she's just like, give me more of your like deepest, darkest thoughts. Like I want to see more of that.
Yeah, she didn't write back.
I know. Well, understandably though, with how that ended, because he was mean. And he said he would never ever marry her. So I don't really blame her for not writing him back. But I do love that he still wrote her all summer. Like, clearly.
Do you think that she read his letters?
Yes, she can't not.
I would imagine yes. Because
even though she was in love with him for too long.
Yeah.
I feel, when she saw him in the first episode and knew that he was back, there's no way that you can, even if you can be in love with someone for the longest time, and it's not like you can just turn off your feelings.
Yeah.
No matter how bad they hurt you, for whatever reason, it still hurts, but it's hard to turn those things off. You can't just, you can pretend.
Yeah.
And you can like fight it, but you're definitely still feeling things and you're still curious about if they're thinking about you or whatever.
Well, and maybe that kiss for her is going to be a little bit of like obviously it's not closure, but maybe it'll be enough of a closure moment for her to actually move on to someone else. And it's going to be enough of a opener for him that it's going to be the beginning of something big for him, but she's hopefully going to be gone by that point already. So then we can really get into the like
more angsty.
The chase. Yeah, I need a little angst, guys. A little more angst. At least Kate and Anthony hated each other, so it was always like, okay, what are they going to say to each other next?
I was going to say, we need to build some sort of tension since friends don't usually have that tension a lot of the time.
Yeah, we need a little more tension.
Yeah. She says, can I read your journal? And he says, you can if you can start talking to people.
He said, I'll consider it.
I'll consider. I'm sorry. I'll consider it.
I died when because she was actually doing decent flirting with that man before he started crying because his horse had died.
Yeah.
I died that her and Colin were just making jokes about it. Like, let's gallop along. And like I was laughing so hard at that. I was not prepared.
I love that kind of like banter, kind of like funny. I love that stuff.
Yeah. I also love that like when she went up to flirt with those guys, it was like, hello.
She won't directly look at them.
How's your night going? Like she like lays it on so thick and is like kind of standoffish and trying to be so.
But it was still so much less cringe than the earlier ones. Like I was like, at least she's being elusive and it's coming across more that way instead of panicked. But yeah, I died when he started crying and needed to run away. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Let's try to find someone who's not in mourning. Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously. I know. What's it called? Mama Bridgerton, her trying to get Francesca and Eloise to do something with anybody. But she just desperately wants Francesca to find love because she thinks that her girls deserve it, which thank goodness that there's a mom out there that
life of a mom.
I love her. I love her so much.
Wants her girl to find love or their kids to find love, right? Not just to marry for convenience or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen anything about her?
Who?
About Lady Bridgerton. And they can like and her story or anything.
Like what's to come for her?
What's to come for her?
I have not.
The only time I remember about her coming is when is the last episode of of Bridgerton when she's like, I'm starting to like feel things.
Queen Charlotte.
It was Queen Charlotte.
Yes.
Yes, but she was like, I don't know, my garden is
In blue.
Yeah. I feel like all of that was to
Have a build up to something.
have a build up to something.
Mhm.
I mean, I hope she finds love again. She's
Mhm.
spent so much time trying to do that for her kids, and she's still a cute little lady who like
Oh,
has a
yeah.
lot going for her, and like, fuck, man, I
Yeah, I
want
mean,
her to find somebody.
Edmund died when he was 37.
Yes,
she
like that's
was
such a young age
even
to be
younger.
widowed.
You know, she's very, very young. She's probably in her early 40s at this point. So she's
Yeah,
got.
and they didn't have ways to take care of themselves back then.
Mhm.
No, she
Well,
needs a new love interest. I would
Mhm.
love
Yeah,
that.
she's not the type of
Mhm.
person.
I think I won't say who, but I think I have an idea of who it's going to be. So
Oh,
we'll see.
I was gonna say I don't know that I've thought that about anyone in
I
particular
haven't
yet.
either.
There was one scene from the very end of the second episode that I think is going to be a lead up to it.
Mm.
I literally just watched it not too long ago. Now
I
I'm
know,
like, what did I?
same, and I'm like, I don't remember this, but maybe I need to rewatch the end of the episode.
What scene?
I guess we're gonna have to rewatch.
Oh,
I can't tell you, or I feel like it'll give it away.
yeah. Don't tell us. Don't think about it. Don't tell us.
I like the spoilers. What?
Well, you're not in good company. No, I can still hear things.
What
Oh my
scene?
gosh, let me tell you guys. Okay, Ariana and Kayla like to talk to each other about things, and they'll call me. I'll be on FaceTime with Kayla, and then Ariana will show up, and then Ariana will take my phone and hijack it, and they will talk about something. And meanwhile, I'm in like a different room going la 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 la.
Okay, because the two of us really, really like deep diving into things and looking into like the conspiracy theories of books, the any kind of theory that could ever be. And a lot of the time, sometimes we're the same, and then other times we're not. So we've ping ponged some really good stuff off of each other too. I love it.
So Lady Danbury is again doing her magic and is like telling the queen like, oh, Lady Whistledown this, and challenge accepted, because Lady Whistledown's like, oh, the queen's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And so the queen's like, yes, I will find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But she still can't find anybody. And then eventually she does.
I love that scene.
That was such a good
Mhm.
scene where Francesca was just taking a break from the party,
Authentic.
like a reprieve
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
from the gentle callers.
I know, but she was so not into being picked at all. Oof. I felt bad for her. She does not like being the center of attention, which I
Mm-mm.
totally get that. That would not that's a lot of pressure to then, because then I feel like you have to like live up to that expectation also. Like, yeah, she's trying to find a husband already. Like, let's not put all the focus on me alone. Like, when she really is more of a wallflower, like, man, that would be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the queen said something about like, you don't perform for me, you perform for yourself, and I love that about you.
Mhm.
That's what I'm choosing. So I'm hoping that because she made that claim, that she's not expecting her to put on a show for anybody, that she's still going to be true to herself, which I love. I'm hoping that's what it is.
I hope so too.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because the other girls were annoying her so badly because they're just like peacocking in front of her constantly.
Yeah.
And the
We didn't
other
get to
mom,
show her.
oh my gosh. The mamas are driving me crazy. The fact that they're all such little gossipy assholes, it's driving me bonkers. Like the fact that it's
What
the
else?
moms that are spreading everything about Penn and Colin. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are the worst. You've already done this. You're married. You had your babies.
They're bored. They're bored. That's all.
No,
They're bored. They had
bored
nothing
rich
else to do.
people. Dumb.
They didn't have house chores to do. They had people cooking for them. They didn't read. I don't think a lot of them were like that kind of educated, unlike Eloise
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Penelope.
Penn. So they just had their cross stitch, and then their daughters to marry. They got to go to the parties. So the only thing you get to do is gossip.
Weird that sounds like exhausting. Like just going to
Yes.
parties constantly.
Well, and, like, to what level they have to all get dressed up and, like, present themselves in society, that's what seems exhausting to me. I would pull an Eloise, though. Here's the thing. I'd be like, "Oh, nobody's looking. Let me go get some snacks." Now
That's
that
the part.
nobody
Oh,
is
I
watching,
love that.
I need some chocolate now that nobody's watching
Yeah.
me. That would have been me through and through. I would have been like,
Yeah.
"F
Yeah.
this.
But
I'm hungry. This is
they
too
don't
tight."
dress themselves. They literally have maids that put it on them.
Still,
They just stand there and go like this.
I
I
still
want
think
someone
that
to
would be
dress me.
exhausting.
I want someone to dress me, and me just
I
stand there and
mean,
let them do it.
No, they
but
can pick
it's
out my
a level
clothes.
of dress that is a lot too.
True.
Like, I
Because
don't
it's
need
See,
like
to wear
it's not like a
20
one-piece
layers.
dress. Yeah, it's like a 10-piece dress. You know,
Correct.
onesie.
I would maybe be here for that.
Like,
Those.
once, not every day of my life.
I mean, I'd be fine with someone doing my hair and makeup for me.
Yeah, no,
That'd be
that would
something
be
I'd like.
nice.
I don't know. I think I'd have to
Kayla's
try.
kinda here for it.
I might be kind of here for it. I'm not gonna lie. The big giant dresses and yeah, no, I think I'd be here for it. I think I need to try said outfit on at some point, like a true
I had a corset.
historically girl, I
They
have
have
worn
Bridgerton balls
I have
now.
worn a corset
I
before,
know,
let me
that'd
tell
be
you.
so
Mhm.
fun.
But like an actual true like the full outfit with all the petticoats, peacoats, whatever, all the things. I think I want to try that on. And then at that point I can make an accurate like could I do this all the time if someone else did it for me? But I
Yeah,
love
do
the
they go to the
dresses.
bathroom by themselves? How does that work?
What?
So did they go to the bathroom by themselves?
Well, so they don't wear underwear
I
and
know.
all their peacoats and like,
They have those pants though underneath.
but it's just so it's basically it looks like a gravy boat, and they just pee and then pour it out.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
they take their
Mhm.
pantalones.
Yeah,
Oh.
like historically, that's how they did it.
Oh.
So
Super
How's the
interesting.
baby telling us how things are done historically?
because I get into the
I mean,
theories.
I was gonna say, because that's deep
What the
historical.
Because this
Theories.
thought has gone through her mind and she looked it up.
She said, "How do these women pee in all these layers?" I mean, that's a
Yeah.
valid
I mean,
question.
I also am very curious about it, but I did not look it up. So
Well, your daughter takes it a step further than us.
I mean, their maids probably went in the bathroom with them too, though, if they needed to, because let's
I
be
would
real, they're
imagine.
never more than 5 feet away from them.
yeah, true. Anyways, what were you reading in my little book?
Oh, I know what scene you're talking about.
Did I write it down?
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Wait.
And
Oh, I
she
hit the
still doesn't
microphone.
remember. I love it so much.
I wrote it down and I don't know what it means.
I love this so much.
I'll have
Ah,
to rewatch it. But I definitely wrote something down.
look at you. Trying
Someone's
to help
coming.
yourself.
Someone is coming.
Someone is uninvited.
Oh! The visitor. Remember when Lady Danbury's
Lady Danbury has a visitor coming.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
like,
That's right. Mhm.
tell Mrs. whatever her name is, I'm expecting a visitor. But who is the fucking visitor? But that doesn't tell me who it is.
You'll
Well,
see.
But
we'll
is that
see in the next
Francesca?
episode, I'm sure.
I bet you in the next episode we'll probably meet said
Yeah.
visitor.
Okay, wait. So are you guys gonna watch the next episode right after this, or are you guys gonna watch it tomorrow?
Bitch, I'm watching it right after this.
Yeah, let's be real. Probably right after this.
I will be watching both after this.
Kyle's
Let's be
probably
real,
asleep
it's all day.
already. Like, I might not be able to do both because I do have to be up early,
Be
but
watching both.
maybe.
No, you can totally do both.
I
I'll
was gonna say
probably
they're
still
not
do
that
both.
long, and once you get suckered in, you're not gonna be able
Aren't
to
they an hour?
stop.
Yeah.
Just watch it in
Like
1.5.
52 minutes, right? They're
Yeah.
52 minutes.
Just watch it in 1.5 speed.
Oh, that's what I was doing today.
That's what I did too.
What?
Because I
No.
watched it regular speed.
Okay.
To
Well,
enjoy
yeah.
all I wanted to, I got my reactions recorded and stuff like that. But then I was like, fuck, I gotta take these notes. I've only slept an hour and a half. And I don't have time to do any of the things. So I had to watch it in 1.5. And I had to pause it at some parts to actually write my
Nah.
notes. But
I watched that at regular. I was just too busy fending for my life from a wasp the whole goddamn time.
that was
I kid you not, my husband was the least helpful. I called him legit hysterical. I mean, like full squeal. Every time the wasp remotely got close to me, I just screamed like outright into his ear in the phone. And I was like, "You are useless to me." He's like, "Well, I'm at work." And I was like, "Useless, useless. Why are
You
you
and
not
your useless
home?"
fucking nipples.
Yeah,
You and your useless
exactly.
nipples.
Meanwhile, it's really my dog was the MVP of this like whole journey, truly, because
And she
she,
didn't get stung by it, so that's good.
thank God, I really just needed her for emotional support. I was not trying to get her to eat said wasp, but yeah, she's really how we killed that thing. So thank
She
God.
was like, "I'll save you. I'll save you."
I know she was like, "Mom, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you running around this house? And why do you have every single light on full blast throughout the entire house? Because God forbid this thing sneaks up on me. I got to be able to see it." It was huge. It was so big. I hated it so much.
Oh
I
my
don't know how it got in my
god.
house. I was so comfy. Here's the thing. I had just
Here's the
started
thing.
I had just started episode 1. I was probably like 20 minutes in at this point. I had made myself a nice little dinner. I laid it out. I was like treating myself. And I got all cozy in my blanket, just taking notes. And then this freaking wasp literally flies in front of my goddamn face, like between me and the TV. And I was like, and this moment is ruined forever. Like, I hate this. And kid you not, it probably took 2 full hours before I actually killed it. So like I was running around my house for hours before it finally was dead. And I thought my husband was going to have to kill it when he came home. And that was a long time to wait, let me tell you, because he had just pretty much left for work when that decided to pop into my life. So
Oh.
Oh my god.
I'm still stressed about it. You can tell. It was so dramatic.
I thought it
So
was still so
funny.
funny though.
Oh my God. Never again. How did it get in my house?
All right, you guys, what are your thoughts for the first 2 episodes then?
I think the big one for me was a lot of times, and it wasn't so much I feel like in the second episode, but especially the first episode, I wanted more of Colin and Penelope. I just felt like they weren't the main point a lot of the time because there was so many different side stories they were trying to fit in. And not that I didn't like a lot of the side stories, it just I was like, I was expecting more of them. And so for
Mhm.
me, that was a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping their story becomes more of a centerfold as we progress, but
Oh,
I
it
don't know,
yeah, there
will.
was, I hope, but
I
yeah,
mean,
there was
there's
just
a
a lot of
lot
side plots for
of
me.
interviews, yeah, so I hope they have more shit that's gonna happen.
Well, I know they're gonna have more shit that happens. I want them to really have their season and like be the main point of the season.
No, I get what you're saying. I don't know, whenever like I love a series and it starts back up, I just like love it. Like being back in it. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I was just like giddy the entire time, just being back with all the characters and having new things happening. Being back in the world or whatever. It's just like when a new book comes out in a series too, I feel
Yeah.
the same way. So I was just happy the whole time. And I think I just kind of felt like the first 2 episodes were kind of
Teasers.
lead in.
Building in.
Yeah, like they're just kind of builder episodes for sure. Um
Yeah.
I
Speaking of
do
side plots,
what?
sorry, this is gonna bother me. Speaking of side plots, I feel like this season is kind of turning into like Cressida's redemption arc,
Oh,
and I
totally.
not a redemption arc girly. I hated Nesta's redemption arc. I hated Cole's, whatever it is, in Tog. I hated it. And I'm just like,
You just
yeah.
want a villain to be a villain.
Oh, is he a bad guy?
Who?
No.
Kale?
Yeah.
No, Kale is not a bad guy.
Not in the way that you think he is.
Well, I don't think anything of him because I still don't know how to say his
he's
name.
not a bad guy.
Kale's not a bad guy.
Okay.
Okay.
But you want them to be true to
Anyway.
who they are and not necessarily then cater them to the crowd.
Yes.
I get that.
My thoughts on the first 2 episodes is they did a good job. It definitely got me excited to watch the rest of the season. I'm
Yes.
very upset that I'm disappointed that we have to wait till June to get the last half of it. It was really very, very difficult for me to stop at episode 2 because how do you stop at the kiss? Like,
At
I mean,
the
I
kiss,
did.
I know. I literally, it started playing. Like the next episode started playing, and I was like, shit. I like couldn't find the remote. I was like, turn it off. I'm not allowed to keep going. It's like panicking.
So I watched it Thursday morning, and then I had to go to work Thursday night. And most of everyone who actually watches Bridgerton
Had
binged
already
the whole
watched
thing.
all of it.
And I was just like, even, and they were like, yeah, but now we gotta wait. And I was like, oh, so maybe it was probably a good thing I didn't watch all of it, because now I still have something to look forward to, and it's not just over. But it will be over here in a couple hours when we're done.
Yes, and then we'll still be in everyone's predicament where we're waiting basically a month still.
But at least I got to savor it just a little bit, and I got to think about the episodes more, whereas because I forget a lot of the things that happened because I move on with other things. Now I just got to think about it and then rewatched it on 1.5 speed, and you guys should try it. It's kind of interesting. They don't walk as slow.
Or talk as slow.
Yeah, well, I think not.
The heaving breasts are still like.
There's a lot of heaving. It's a lot of breath.
There's a lot of heaving, but there's a lot of breaths.
And 1.5
guys,
is hybrid.
She's sucked in, okay?
Yeah.
She's like, I can't actually breathe, so I gotta hyperventilate a little bit.
I'm actually curious. I think that once I finish watching the last 2 episodes, I'm going to watch some more of the interviews. I want to see how comfortable her clothes were, or I'm curious to see how everything really went.
I like them interviewing.
I saw one with her. She was like, I love putting it on and I love taking it off because I have to wear it for 12 to 14 hours a day. And so she's like, yes, they're beautiful. I love wearing them. I love how I feel in them, but then I really love taking it off.
Do you think, so now we're going into other things, is her hair in the series a wig, or do they color her hair for it?
I'm pretty sure
it's a wig because she has a lot more hair in the series than she does in real life.
Speaking of wigs, can we talk about Queen Charlotte's wigs?
They're so good.
Yeah.
I keep trying to I'm like, okay, does this wig mean something? Like, does it mean something? Is it important to this? I'm like, I don't think like this. Fuck it. I'm going to watch this and enjoy it. I'm not going to, but man, it's a cool wig.
Yeah. I saw a comparison, just picture of the very first scene that Queen Charlotte was in from the first episode to her very first scene in this one, and the wig difference is insane. Her wigs have their own budget now.
All right, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed watching the first 2 episodes of Bridgerton Season 3. We will be releasing the next podcast episode 2 weeks from today, June 21st. We will continue diving into all things Bridgerton Season 3 Part 1, covering the next 2 episodes on Netflix. Also, if you like what you hear, then please share it with your friends. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all major streaming platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, Book Besties.
Bye.
Bye.